Okay, yeah, I forgot I had to probably take it off mute. We're back. Sorry about that. I got two mutes. I got a mute on the computer and a mute on there. I didn't take it off mute. Thank you for coming in. Are we back? Are we back? All right. So we started a little early. People are saying go live, go live. We're waiting. But this is the Nanos part 2. They went into the secret meeting, not secret, but executive meeting. So hit the like button. Replay viewers, welcome back. Live viewers. So they went into the executive meeting. Now they're going to come out. I don't know how this all works. So I mean, but they're going to probably talk about what maybe they decided in the executive meeting. So we're back. I'm also watching the mayor's meeting. And it's hard to listen to, so I'm actually glad that that you told me to go live because I was just. But we do have this going on.
Labor groups. We put them all in the same room, and we had a robust discussion about this whole video.
It's on.
All the categories, and one of the things
So this is one of those days. About once a month, I have to go through. And it's a little frustrating to watch just because, I don't think they're taking the priorities of the citizens. It's all about their, so I'm not going to get into it, but we're just waiting right there. The Board of Supervisors is in executive meeting. Hit the thumbs up. Christine in the house. We got Ahmad, Lorraine, Christine, Christy. Hello, Brenda. Granny B. Karen G. Dem ladies back. Jean. Maggie says, what's the holdup? They like to talk. And then when they're in the executive session, they don't have, the public isn't able to hear, so they can really get on the same page. But thank you guys for keeping the conversation civil. Occasionally some of these pop up where thank you, Lori. Did have a good lunch. Cheeseburger for lunch. And I know it's already late where you guys are at. Some of you guys are in the East Coast. Some of you on the East Coast, and it's already 4 or 5 o'clock. But we're waiting. Hello, Darlene, Dana. Yeah, more citizens show up. The problem is it's that word defranchised. People just start caring anymore because nothing ever changes. That's the thing. Tucson is stuck in the 1980s. I hate to be honest. I shouldn't. I'm just telling the truth. It's stuck in the 1980s politics of the good old boys network protecting the wealthy, are protecting the elected. People call while I'm live. So that's where a lot of people, they give up voting. These kinds, it's called being defranchised, because it doesn't matter how many. Every year it's the same. These same people will get elected again. I'm not being honest with you. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just telling you, they could literally have a massive crisis going on in their city like they do right now. Budget shortfall, but they spent 160 million on climate change, but they got a budget shortfall. We have free buses here in Tucson that cost us about 100 million a year. plus all the crime, right? Because free bus systems, the criminals can just get on the bus after, doing some shoplifting, a robbery. I mean, there was a bank robber who used the bus to get away. I'm not kidding. I'm not making this stuff up. And so, because of our lack of jobs here, also, this creates more jobs in these nonprofits because they get money from the federal government to fix our homeless problem. Even though there's a difference, like I mentioned, homeless and a drug addict. See, the homeless actually go to shelters. We have plenty of shelters, but the drug addicts, they don't want to follow rules. They just want to do drugs. And if they don't get their drugs, they're going to either steal, they're going to rob something, they're going to sit and try to get money any way they can. They're, the women are putting their bodies out. Everybody knows this. I'm not trying to make a big, oh, everybody knows this. Even the local elected. And then all the rehabs it creates, all the money that gets flown into the county, supporting up jobs. So the local elected, since we don't have a good job economy here, this is how they create jobs. If we fix the solution, you know how many companies would go out of business here in Tucson that are tied to this fentanyl, meth, drug addiction? It's built into our economy. City jobs are created. They add new jobs. I mean, it's a job. Crime is paying these people, and it keeps them in office because then they go get to fix the problem or act like they're fixing the problem. We know it's getting worse. I mean, I can start doing some streams and show you, but I get so much pushback. Oh, you're showing the homeless. No, the homeless, they go to shelters. The ones that are out there, if they're homeless, they're going to try to get off as quick as possible and get into a shelter because it's dangerous for anybody to be leaving on the streets because the other homeless will attack the other homeless. So they put it in this big box of homeless, but they're not saying that these people are actually won't take help. A lot of the drug addicts won't take help. The big housing thing they keep talking about. Let me tell you something. They had a list here in Tucson. They had to close the list. It had 40,000 people on the list for housing in Tucson. 40,000. And they did a whole thing. We're closing down the list. It's too many people. And then they keep talking about it. Oh, we're getting housing. I'm all for getting some housing, but they're talking about, maybe 10%, 20% of the people out there would qualify for the housing. You can't just get housing and put some guy in there on meth and fent and say, oh, we got him housing. These people have to be rehabbed and there's no enforcement on the streets. So they just basically, if they get arrested, anyone in Tucson, they'll be out within a week at the most. Sometimes they'll be out that night or they don't even arrest them. And then they don't show up for their court date. So that's why if you watch my court channels that we host, it's just this revolving door of crime. Every arrest, it costs the city 500, us five taxpayers, $500 to $1,000 to arrest each person, run them through the jail. That's why you see so many released because they don't want to hold them in jail because if someone dies, Sheriff Nanos has lawsuits. He runs the jail. It's all connected. And then the big grift is they try to blame, if you're watching the mayor's meeting, things that they will never take responsibility. They pass the blame. Oh, it's this, it's that, it's this, except it's actually them who are causing all these problems. They don't have any solutions. It's just a band-aid, so to speak. They act like, oh, we're doing this, and everybody knows it's not gonna work. You watched it even play out in the Nancy Guthrie case. Nanos went up and did his normal behavior. This isn't any different. You think Nanos, oh, he handled this. This is how he handles all cases. But because they needed a scapegoat to take the attention off of other people, right? They took Nanos out. They're, because they already know he's going to be gone in 3 years. So here they would rather have somebody that they can put in the local Democrats, right? Because Nanos and now he's at odds with everyone. So they want him out so they can put in somebody that they can control, just like they did with Nanos. So as much as everybody wants Nanos needs to be gone, I okay. He'll be gone if he's gone, but what the locals here in Tucson are going to do, they're going to just put in somebody else to keep the grift going, the same grift, but it'll be worse. I'm not kidding. I mean, I know we need Nanos gone, but it's not going to make any difference if he goes or not. The FBI's handling the case anyway. He's got his Corvette, home cooked meals every night, probably going out to dinner. He's living the life. You think he cares about Nancy Guthrie? He's about to retire in 3 years. No, he just wants to be done with this. He wants to get through this 3 years. If not, then they're gonna put in somebody else. I mean, I get Nanos is we're doing the recall. I mean, they could bring something in, but they want to make it happen now because they want to put their person in. You saw these local elected how they are. So I'm not saying he should be, not fired or whatever, but even if he's fired, what's gonna happen? They're just gonna put in somebody, um, another Democrat that's basically gonna just push the same, buttons as far as that they need. The local cabal. Yeah, I mean, Lori, I don't know if it's owned by, but what you got to look at is the silence, right? The silence. The silence speak volumes when they don't even mention the C word that you just mentioned, Lori. They don't even mention the C word like it doesn't even exist. They won't even they're on like the look the other way kind of thing. Like you don't hear the mayor even mention it. You won't ever hear Adelita. Nobody. It's like this hidden thing. Like shh, don't say the C word. Everybody knows, and they won't acknowledge it even to so many other levels to this. But yeah, you're right, Lori. I don't know if it's directly. I think it could be, in my opinion, indirectly. So you keep your job and you're not going to get, any pressure from the local elected as long as you stay silent. And he did his job. He stayed silent because they were paying his department to protect their little system they set up here in Pima County. So if you look at the map of America, there's only a couple ways that people come into America. I know people come in from Canada, but it's not. There's only a couple ways. One of them's right through Tucson. We never cared about it before because it was like, a couple thousand, 10,000 people a year. Okay. But here, this was a planned operation. Nanos was a part of the operation. Now, his silence, not saying things, not actually telling the truth of what was happening, and then taking money from the government to, give to his deputies to protect, the Red Roof Inn, all these different places. And then they had the whole bus, food, DoorDash. I knew people that were getting every day. That was their job. They would go to this hotel and bring DoorDash to like every resident. DoorDash every day. So we're waiting. I know you guys are just coming in. They're waiting for this to start. They're in that extended meeting. Thank you, Straightliner. We're just waiting for this to start. KC is in the house. Yeah, the recall, I mean, it's 120,000 signatures. It's a lot of signatures. It's a lot of signatures. Yeah, exactly, JD. And that's kind of where, Adelita Grijalva, she's over there, making all kinds of speeches and you know, horrible things. Oh, this, this. I don't want to get into. I don't even want to mention what she says. You can go to watch. It's all divisive. There's nothing about unity. And I think the common sense Americans, they see what they're doing. It's not about listening to the citizens actually what's going on. It's all about pushing their agenda. I will be right back. I will be right back. We're just waiting for this together to start. So come on in, hit the like button. put maybe where you're from if you want. I'm gonna go get my drink. I am back right now. Let me see. The sound is kind of no, there is no sound for their but we're waiting. It says right there, executive session, still waiting. But let me check the sound. Looks like we're good. When Nanos told the FBI and police department not to search, then lost all respect for. Yeah, and a lot of people said he messed it up at the beginning. But here's what a lot of people don't put together. Nanos only works Monday through Friday. Can you guys hear me? Okay, thank you, Brenda. Is it too loud? So he only works Monday through Friday. So this happened on Sunday. Like Nancy goes missing. I think it was a Sunday, right? If I'm not mistaken, Sunday. 11:56 a.m. and 12:06 they make the call. Nanos, I heard he was at a party that day, or no, I don't know what was going on, but Nanos didn't even get known that it was Nancy Guthrie missing until 7 p.m. that night. So he didn't even, there was a supervisor, right? When Nanos, the supervisor, remember, that's who would have made the decision on how to handle the case. Nanos is the fall guy for it. This, I mean, I'm just trying to help you guys understand. Nanos Sunday, he's out with the family, driving his car, going to parties, maybe a basketball game. So they probably waited to call him because we're like, we don't want to bug our chief or our sheriff on Sunday. That's his day off. Who wants to make that call? Nobody did until 7 p.m. that night. And then he went out and did a press conference. But he said in the interview, I did not find out about this until about 7 p.m. that night. So it's like those first 7 hours, 6 hours. So as much as Nanos is the fall guy and he's we've been dealing with this how he talks and he gets in front of the media. I mean, every case. The ones that he says he solved, I'm not saying that his detectives didn't solve them, but he talked about the one case in a recent interview about he solved this case in Reddington Pass. Paul Clifford, who was murdered Christmas Eve. He answered the door to some strangers, and the strangers said, "We're broken down. Can you help me?" This guy, Paul Clifford, went and helped him, and the people pew-pewed or whatever and stole his car and drove into Tucson. And the only reason that they found the Paul Clifford is because he had a tracker on his truck. And they were able to track that truck, which is a simple technology, right, to an apartment complex. And they arrested the people. So, I mean, I get cases are like harder, some are harder, but Holly Dasso, they won't even talk about. You guys hear me talk about Holly Dasso. That's a Sheriff Nanos case. And it's up on the level of Nancy Guthrie, the way that she was taken to the railroad tracks. I mean, this is, you don't hear anything about it. So unless the case is completely handed to him, like, thank God they found the people who did that to Paul Clifford on Christmas Eve. That he was in bed with his wife. Someone knocked on his door. This guy is so good. He left his house to go help these people, and they left him there in a burning broke down car, and they stole his car. You can Google Paul Clifford. Hey, Allison. And that's the thing is maybe they had even more surveillance, but they were able to track Paul Clifford's truck. The thieves stole it and drove it to Tucson. And then they went to an apartment complex and they were able to find out who it was based on that. So if you can they talked about that on Desert Law. I think so. We're still waiting the board of supervisors. So as soon as they're back, it'll just pop up and you'll see them again. So thanks for tuning in a little early. I was gonna wait, and then people said go live, go live. So here we are. We're live a little early. Get your seats, get your popcorn, take some deep breaths. Keep telling myself that. Why didn't they do any searches for Nancy? I think they immediately knew that she was kidnapped somehow. Homicide and kidnap. That's why he came out and said, hey, I had to call my homicide investigators. Thank you, Allison. Welcome back. We got the mayor's meeting going on too, and I had to turn it off. See if you guys want to listen to it for a minute, see what they're talking about. Oh wait. Do it this way. But we are in waiting mode. See what they're talking about.
All the rest as we go forward. So I move that we take off the table any cutting of services or hours from city pools based on last year's operations. And I ran the wording past Tim. So I think it will work. Second.
There's a motion and a second on basically.
I just every time I start listening to it, I have to just I have to. It's hard to listen to. Some of this stuff is just way off. So where's it? Everyone didn't love it, but we got to hear the public speakers. Remember the public speakers? So that was the big highlight of it. We did see Alex in there, JLR in the audience, which was they were right there front row. We also did see Matt Hines. Remember Dr. Matt Hines? He's the guy who's like really pushing for Nanos to be gone, right? He's the guy who's so then now they're in executive session. They've been in it probably for almost over 2 hours. I don't know what they're doing in there, but what's going to happen in about the next 15 to 30 minutes, hopefully sooner, it's just going to pop on and they're going to be back at their desks giggling and smiling. And then that Jennifer Allen, who just got elected, and now she's the chairperson. I mean, she just got elected, and now, hey, you're the chairperson. So all of a sudden, it's going to pop on, and she's going to say, welcome back. My name is Jennifer Allen. Just kidding. Welcome in to all the mods. We got 520. See what other mods are checking in. Jody, welcome in. Christy. Christina. I haven't seen Jeff today. Hopefully Jeff's all right. Maybe he's in the scanner chat. I don't know. Just set an alert out, making sure Jeff's all right. See lots of familiar names in the chat. Watching from Boston. Oh man, I want to go on your way home. Wait, watching from Boston on way home in train to Maine. Oh my gosh, I'm jealous about that. That would be amazing. Taking a train from Boston to Maine. That's cool. Yeah, and Darlene, it's kind of if they in their mind they have though, so it's hard to say. I mean, everybody has their opinion, but in their mind they probably have. Yeah, you got that right. Godskid. It's some days I have to turn it off. Like I'll try to start watching it and I mean I'll run it, but I'll have to walk away or it's All right, we got a question. I got a question which I can't get my head around. Why are law enforcement cops, FBI, not able to search private properties? Well, it's just the law. The law, you can't just go on anybody's property and start searching unless you have a reason to. So if nothing is bringing them to search somebody's property, then they can't just go and legally search. But like I've said on other streams, I believe if they think these ransom notes are legit, they will get Nancy back. Now let's hope she's alive, or they'll get the body. I got them send a text. One second, guys, just doing something. But we're still waiting. Hello, 231. Welcome in, Austin. Hello from Austin. That's one of the states I've never been to is Maine. I've never been to Maine. But it looks really green. Lots of green trees and mountains. Well, you know what's the city meeting, the air conditioning's out. You know, imagine the whole air conditioning goes out. That's how bad our city is. I mean, our air conditioning is going out the day we have meetings. I mean, it's not even hot today. I mean, I could see if it went out because it was extra hot. It's not even, and so they're having the mayor's meeting on the other channel. If you guys go watch that, if you've been watching that before this, they have no air. All right, hold on real quick. What is going on? Says Rebecca. We are waiting right now. We are waiting. Trying to wait patiently for this to start. This is the Board of Supervisors still says in executive session. We will return shortly. So they are just taking their sweet time today. And the way it's going to work though, Rebecca, is right when they're back, it's just going to pop on the screen and you're going to see them sitting at their desk smiling and then they're going to continue. Now, what we're hoping is going to happen is they discussed Nanos's, whatever they're discussing about Nanos, and then they're going to say, we've decided and we're asking for Sheriff Nanos to provide a written statement or something to respond to these allegations, right? So that's what somebody mentioned, but we don't know exactly. I'm learning a lot as far as this is kind of odd to have this happen to a sheriff because you don't really hear about sheriffs, getting, thrown out of office. I mean, maybe it happens. I haven't heard of a lot of them. So, um, yeah, oh yeah, you're welcome. Yep. Just trying to kind of wait patiently. I was gonna wait to start the stream, and then people said go ahead and start it. So it's kind of more of a like a chat room until this gets going. Executive session. Why not put it on the table and explain? Yeah, they use that executive session so they don't have to share what they're talking about with the public. It's just a strategy. They do it a lot here in Tucson, more than other cities. Taco Tuesday. It's 4:30 there. It's 1:33 here. Oh, thank you, Julie. Thank you, Julie. Yeah, it can be interesting to watch different YouTubes. I watch them as well just to hear different perspectives and I like to just have common sense, not really get too into it. But this day has been filled with a little more political things than normal. So thank you guys for just knowing, hey, might be a little bit more, but we don't mean offense to anybody. We're not trying to get into some, internet chat room thing. We're just trying to explain and understand. I mean, everybody wants to have peace, I'm sure. So hopefully we keep that going. Welcome in Carrie with the yellow hearts. Oh, nice one, Carolyn. Do you have a rug? Because that's where Nanos's infractions will be swept. I like that. That's a good one. We take some cold. Yeah, I would love some cold. I mean, I actually want it to be cold, but I think we're done with the cold. We're back. We're either to it's gonna be okay to really hot. I wonder if they have to make their discovery public after this is done, whatever information was disclosed to them. That's a good point. I don't know what they have to disclose, but if it's on the agenda, I think they maybe have to come up with what they decided. I mean, it's confusing. Confusing. Excuse me. So we'll see what happens, but it's going on. She said it was going to be an hour and a half, and that's been, I think, 2 hours plus if they took a 30-minute lunch. So oh, they're back. They're back, guys. They're back. Do you see what I see? They're back. Everybody put thumbs up in the chat. Share out the stream. They're back. Nanos's record question. Here is part 2. I told you it would just pop right up. Do, 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 do. All right. He is the city attorney. That's the city attorney, Sam Brown. He is not the perp. I know a lot of people said that's the perp. He's not the perp. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate that. All right. Ooh, look at those empty seats. They got lots of people. Yeah, exactly, Karen. Somebody earlier, I think, was joking around. Oh, they go back. Oh, welcome to Tucson. You're on Tucson time. That reminds me, you know what I'll do? I'll play that song because this is Tucson time. All right, we are waiting. Dana, thank you so much. Wow, holy moly. Thank you so much, Dana. Appreciate the continued support. Definitely growing the channel. Hopefully we'll be doing some with different people. If you guys are interested in that and you want to, maybe call in one time, obviously it's just taking it one day at a time. Thank you, Dana. Covering different topics, right now, what I've been doing is lots of Tucson topics, but we do have another channel, 857 Media, and we're going to be building that channel hopefully with people in the community. It's all about helping. If you have a channel you want to promote while we're waiting. But thank you again. Appreciate that, Dana. Milkshakes for all. Oh man, that milkshake I had the other day though at in St. Benson near St. David. Oh, there's a wild Tim. Tim said a wild Tim. Oh man, Tim's been here a while. Thanks for joining, Tim and Dem. Shirley's here. Brenda, welcome back. Jackie, Sandra, Bryn Owens, welcome in. Everybody has their theory. Jessica, welcome. She's actually on the train. Maybe you're still on the train. We're not doing the call in today, but what I'm planning is every day I'm kind of, trying out different things. That's one in the future. So thanks for if you want to do that, I'll definitely let the community know when we start that. If you want to send an email though, you can send an email 857live@gmail, and I'll read that next time I do. If it's about Nancy Guthrie, I'll read it on a Nancy Guthrie stream. Brenda, Larry, welcome back. Crystal, we're just waiting. I mean, I don't know how patiently. I'm not waiting very patiently on this deal. Michelle says, thanks for the slow day. He's finally getting it. That's hilarious. So I'm gonna I gotta step away for 1 second though. WLW, I don't know what you want to know. Why don't you, if you have any questions, ask. Hello, Amanda. Welcome back. Long day for meetings. All right, I'll be right back. Thank you. Just be right back. We're still in waiting mode. Oh my gosh. Huh. Yeah, I'm going to give you a summary of where we're at today, right now. Come on in. Everybody's been waiting patiently, and it's kind of just turned into a chat room right now while we're waiting. Like you're in the audience waiting for this to start. I don't know why they don't just say how long it's going to be, but they did this last time. Oh, it's going to be an hour and a half. You heard her. And then we're looking at 2+ hours for the Nanos, as it's titled, Nanos Record Questioned Part 2. This is Part 2. We are back waiting, as it says, the Board of Supervisors in executive. I mean, it's going on and on. Hey, Glenna, thanks for coming in. Michelle, Amanda, it's 90 minutes turning into 9. Yeah, we're on Tucson time. Tucson time. So here we're going to listen while we're waiting for that. Let's see here. We're going to listen to Tucson time. A song by 857 Tucson. Music here while we're waiting.
Tucson stand. No more waiting, no more dividing. The time is now. Yeah. Tucson time is now, no looking back. We rise together, hand in hand on track. New day, new way. We build this town. Time in Tucson's always now. No slowing down.
Tucson time. That's what we're on. We're waiting right now, everybody, for this dang meeting. So right now we're taking a little break, listening to this song, and then we're going to go back to waiting mode. So thanks for your patience. About to get started.
Say it loud. We're changing the sound from the barrios to the downtown grounds. We ain't stuck in the past. We make it count. Tucson time is now. Yeah, that's what we're about. Started with pain, but we flip that page. Out the desert heat, we break that cage. Voices rise up like monsoon rain, washing off years of broken chain. From 22nd to flowing well, stories deep like desert wells. People power, hearts unite, building bridges, not more fights. We ain't just talk, we show the route. Boots on the ground, we move, no doubt. We the spark, we the crew, we the change, yeah, me and you. Tucson time is now, no looking back. We rise together, hand in hand on track. New day, new way. We build this town. Time in Tucson's always now. No slowing down. Say
Tucson time. We're on it right now. We're on watch for this meeting. And so I just said, well, since we're on Tucson time, we're going to play the rest of this song. And then we're going to go back into waiting mode just to switch it up a little bit.
we're changing the sound from the barrios to the downtown grounds. We ain't stuck in the past. We make it count. Tucson time is now. Yeah, that's what we're about. Truth in the street, beats in the soul, healing the city, making it whole. Past divided, but now we mend. This is the rise, not just pretend. Voice of silence, not no more. We kick that shut door off the floor. Generations with visions wide, planting seeds on the west side. East to south, north to mid. Every hood got dreams for the kids. No more fear, just action loud. Say it with me, we Tucson proud. Tick tock, no stalling the clock. Time don't wait, we ready to rock. One by one, we break that mold. New Tucson, brave and bold. Tucson time is now, no looking back. We rise together, hand in hand on track. New day, new way, we build this town. Time in Tucson, time waits now. No Tucson time is now, no looking back.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you.
We rise together, hand in hand on track. New day, new way. We build this town. Time in Tucson's always now. No slowing down. Say it loud. We're changing the sound from the barrios to the downtown grounds. We ain't stuck in the past. We make it count. Tucson time is now. Yeah,
All right, guys, back to meeting watch. Back to meeting watch. Boom, boom, boom. Back to it. We're in meeting mode. Oh man, what happened? All right, where's everybody signing in from? I don't think we've done that on this stream. I know you probably do it every time, but I like to see all the different states. Maggie, that's a song that I made for the channel using the AI program. I have a couple of them. I'll put the link in the chat. I'll put a link. I made 3 songs for the channel. I'm going to add some more, but that's one of them. All right, there is the link. Thank you. I mean, they're fun to make. Obviously, I don't like to compete against, any real musician. Grand Rapids, wow, Florida. So I just made it for fun. But shout out to all the real musicians out there doing the thing, actually playing the. I mean, I just made it for the channel, so I didn't have a copy. I could have a copyright song. So nothing. I make them positive about Tucson, things like that. New York, we got a Tucson in the house. Iowa, Milwaukee, Louisiana, South Jersey, Cajun, San Antonio. Do we have any new people in the chat? I know we're just any new people within the last day or today or last week. Welcome in, Martha. Lots of UK, Scotland. Scotland, we love Scotland. England, welcome in, Phil from England. Caitlin from Florida. Lots of Florida. I mean, I see these same states, and these are the ones I'm going to hit first. Florida, UK, Scotland. Lots of Georgia's in always. Wisconsin's always in there. We did have a Maine earlier. New York. Timothy's out in Texas. New England, Norwich. Norwich, England. Hello, Ellen. Belgium. We don't have many from Belgium. Welcome in, Linda. And Trisha from Missouri. We got Minnesota, Kansas. Are you sure they're coming? But yeah, they do this all the time, GM. It's frustrating. It's GM, it's frustrating. I mean, they just, as long as they're done by, they're 8 to 5 out, they'll just keep talking and talking. And I think we're closer than farther though. So let's hold hope. I think it could happen anytime. Maybe 10 minutes, maybe 5. I'm hoping shorter. Ohio. Maggie checking in from Tucson. We have in Australia. Welcome in, Michelle. All right, Lorraine. I say they're sitting in the room arguing about letting this slide somehow, but the doctor is firm. The last meeting, the doctor seemed done with the sheriff. Yeah, the doctor never liked the sheriff, but there's always something below that, whatever reason. Maybe the doctor has somebody he wants to put in that position. Yeah, I don't know. Indiana, Idaho. welcome in. Florida, Gator Cheer, welcome. South Carolina, Arizona here. Pagan, you are so fake. No information, scamming. Woo. All right, I'm sorry, Private Eyes. I apologize. I don't know what I said, but maybe one day we can have a talk about it. Central Illinois. Bye, Private Eyes. Sorry to upset you today. Florida, lots of Florida. Private Eyes is upset today at me. Donna, Lorraine, we're just waiting, Private Eyes. We're waiting for this meeting, dang it. And now you're mad at me. What the heck? Nancy, welcome in. And Fritz from Germany. Cincinnati. Nobody is ever from Delaware. I've been to Delaware. I drove through Delaware. I think it was like an hour to drive through. Great state of Delaware. Lots of history there. Cincinnati, Ohio. Australia. Mississippi, Sweden. Welcome in. Hanukkah. Berkheimer, New York, upstate. Leona, is that near New Berlin? Is that near New Berlin? Connecticut. Oh, Maine. Maine, Melissa. We have another Maine. I love Maine. Maine has lots of history as well, but also they have good antiques over there at Thomaston Auctions. I think it's in a city called, or a town called Thomaston. Thomaston Auctions, great auction house in America. They have the best stuff, quality. Thomaston Auctions in Maine. Give them a shout out. Pennsylvania. No, we're still waiting. I mean, this thing, they're going to drag out, Ray. I mean, it's you know how the city operates. It's everything so slow. They can't just, it's meetings and meetings and then another meeting and then they got to wait a month and have another. It's today though, we are a little further, right, than we were last month. Waukee Island. I've never heard of Waukee Island. Sounds great. South Africa. I don't know. That's the first time anyone from South Africa I've seen in the chat. I miss a lot of chat though. North Carolina. Welcome in. Iran. I don't know. I don't think so. I think the Iran internet's off right now, if I'm not mistaken. Central Oregon. Texas. South Carolina. New Haven, Connecticut. All right. We are still waiting. Seeing if maybe we could put on something in the meantime. But let's see. What we'll do is we'll just give you guys a little taste of the mayor. How's that for a minute? Can you just give me a minute? We're going to put if this shows up, but I'm going to put on the mayor for a minute. Just so you guys can see this. Oh, I'm sorry I'm doing this though.
On claims in current antitrust litigation related to fire apparatus and or any such future litigation.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any against? Motion carries. What is the council's pleasure on item 7?
Your Honor, an appropriate motion would be that the mayor and council authorize and direct the city attorney through outside counsel to proceed as discussed in an executive session to settle the remaining claims in the In Re Valiant Pharmaceuticals International Incorporated Securities Litigation Case Number 3:15-CV-07653 or 658, excuse me.
So moved.
There is a motion and a second. I'm sorry. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any against? Motion carries. Alrighty, so we go back to item 3. Time has been set aside to allow the Human Resources Director to submit the recommended fiscal year 2027 compensation plan as required by city charter and code.
So right now, we're just watching this. It has nothing to do with Nanos. This is the mayor, though. I'm just letting you guys get a little bit of a look at what this is what the mayor and the council do. We're just waiting. I put a banner on the screen, Nanos watch any minute. I don't know how many, but it can't be much longer because these people want to get home to their dinner. So they don't want to be here all night, I'll tell you that. So I'm saying we're getting closer, but we're going to watch the mayor right now. Just for a minute.
Ms. Train, would you like to start, or Anna, I don't know if you wanted to jump in.
Well, that's where I was trying to look and see the city manager. We usually use a little eye contact here. So we have a presentation for all of you regarding the compensation plan that we've been working hard to prepare for you, mayor and council, as well as all of the employees that are impacted by.
This is kind of boring, though. I think just watch the other thing. Do you guys want to just watch this or the other thing? One, if you want to watch this and wait, or number 2, and we'll watch the waiting screen for them. 1, we watch the mayor until it comes on. 2, we go back to the other one. Go back. They got 2. Yeah, I think, yeah, this is. All right, let me get out of here. Abort. Woo, that was close. That was a close one. All right, we're back to the waiting room. All right. All right, we're back to the waiting room, everybody. Typical, government, we're on their time right now, so I hate to say it, but this is kind of how a lot of them operate. Yeah, I tried, Allison. I tried. Play the jams you made. Yeah, sometimes that bugs people too, so I don't want to just overload them with that. I do have YouTube creator music, copyrighted free songs. South Africa. Play Tucson is home. Okay, I can play that one. We'll play that one. I'm gonna make some more. I had no idea people would like it. I just made them for fun one day, and it's pretty, I wanted to keep a positive message with them. But I don't want to offend any real musicians, right? These are much respect to the real musicians out there. This is just, I put in the lyrics and then it helped me, and I told what kind of song I wanted. You guys can do it too. Make your wife or your husband a song tonight. Make them or make your daughter or son or family member a song tonight. It's on Suno app. Suno. Suno. You can make your own songs. Thank you, Deanne, for sending the gifted membership. Thank you, Deanne. And thank you again, Dana. Whoever got a free membership from Deanne. Thank you, Suno app. I can't play that without getting copyrighted. There's lots of songs you can't play, but I can play any song that I made. That's what's great about it is if anyone has a channel, you can make your own song for your channel, right? So this might help someone. We're on executive board meeting watch, Nanos watch, anyone coming into the stream. What took you to Tucson? What brought you back? Oh, yeah. Well, I was born in Tucson, so you know how your hometown is always where your heart is. And I left Tucson out of high school because there's just not a lot of opportunity here. If you're not, going to the University of Arizona, it just can be a little slim with opportunities. So I went up to Phoenix. Some Spotify is free. Hello, Siggy. Juniper from Fort Lauderdale. Excuse me. Yeah, Linda Ronstadt is from Tucson. But yeah, you can make a song for your own channel. And then you don't get any copyright either. All right, here's the other one. Turn the volume so it doesn't blast you, but here we go. Try this out. It's not the best quality, but
What up, Tucson, my friend so dear. We gather today, it's crystal clear. From the streets of Congress to Mount Lemon's Peak, united we stand strong and sleek. Old Pueblo's pride, under the desert sun. From the barrios to the ranches, we are one. We walk hand in hand through the cactus and sand. Together we rise, tall and grand. Tucson is home, where hearts collide. In this vast country, where dreams reside. We lift our voices, let our spirits roam. In this melting pot, Tucson is home. In the shadows of the Catalina, we unite. From dawn's first light to the calm of night. Through trials and triumphs, together we grow. Tucson's love, forever we'll show. Arizona's gem, in the heart of the West. Tucson's diversity is simply the best. From the old missions to the modern flair, our culture and warmth we proudly share. Tucson is home, where hearts collide. In this vast country, where dreams reside. We lift our voices, let our spirits roam. In this melting pot, Tucson is home. In the shadows of the Carolinas, we unite. From dawn's first light to the calm of night. Through trials and triumphs, together we grow. Tucson's love, forever we'll show. hearts collide. In this vast country where dreams reside, we lift our voices, let our spirits roam. In this melting pot, Tucson is home. In the shadows of the Cavaliers, we unite. In this vast country where dreams reside, we lift our voices, let our spirits roll. In this melting pot, Tucson is home.
There it is, everybody. Yeah, it is free. Free. Go over to Suno. It's even good for kids. Like my daughter makes them. Family members make them. Your grandma can make them. Your grandma's gonna start sending you videos though, songs she made. So I don't know, but anyone can make them. You can put in the lyrics. You can go to Chat GPT, maybe help you write some lyrics. That's how I made a couple of them. And then I put them in there, and then you can change it. Once the song's made, I paid for the better version, the paid version. So you get extra things you can do to it. And it's not that expensive. I think it was $10 a month. And so Suno app. And yeah, you can make one if you have a channel, like an intro. You can tell what style of music that you want. I mean, it's pretty impressive. But I don't want to offend any real musicians, right? Because real musicians spend their whole life. And so there's always a distinct one. This is just really, I make it so people, when they listen to it here on the channel, it's about Tucson, but it also brings, positive. That's all it is. But shout out to the real musicians. I see people from Australia in here, South Africa, UK. Send me a song if you make one about Tucson, and if you're okay with me using it, we'll have fun with it. If you make a song about your state, I don't know, try to send me a song. I don't know. We're in Nanos Watch right now. Is it a link? Just go to the App Store and type in Suno. 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 Yep. Anybody can do it though. Like, it maybe will help your kids get into music, making music. Thank you, Siggy, for joining. Siggy just joined. Thank you, Siggy. Baby Bucker. I like your, that's a cool name. Baby Bucker from California. This is a long watch. We're still on watch. Let me put this here. It's still on Nanos watch. Thank you, WL. Thank you, Priscilla. Just checking these comments. Thank you, Kathleen. Yeah, it's fun. You know what I mean? It's definitely not Elton John or whoever these Bruce Spring. It's John Mayer. It's not that. It's just you can make it, and I own that song. So if you're creating stuff for a channel. But also it works for family members, right? So here's a birthday coming up. You can make your mother or your father a custom birthday song. Maybe if your family's not here, any family member, let's just say, a song for their birthday. And you can email it to them today and go, hey, happy birthday, I made you a song. You will make their day. Yeah, this meeting, look at Safer says, I'd like to be a fly on the wall in that meeting. You can do it any style. You tell what kind of style you want. Yeah, Debbie, I get it. I mean, let's just say they had a long lunch. So that would put them at, say, starting their meeting at 12, 2.5 hours. So she said 90 minutes, remember? Nanos watch. So I don't know how much longer it's gonna take. It's annoying me too. I was gonna wait to start, and people said, go ahead, start. I mean, there are a whole bunch of people in the chat room, so it's kind of just turned into a chat room while we're waiting. I'm gonna check. Maybe there's a new Nancy Guthrie update from one of the crime sleuths. Do you guys want to watch a little Brian Enton wait while we're waiting, maybe? Guess we'll do that. Is that all right? All right, we'll do that. Perfect. I got this screen up, but then we'll turn on the Nanos as soon as it pops in. So
hey guys, thanks so much for checking out my show. I really, really appreciate it. I really appreciate all of your support. Please click to subscribe. I am, of course, continuing to cover the Nancy Guthrie mystery. It is now day 66 since Nancy Guthrie literally just vanished out of her home outside Tucson, Arizona. I'm going to focus in this episode on what I have learned about the ransom notes, and not only the new ransom notes that I told you about yesterday that came to TMZ, and there are actually two of them. There's one that came in the morning yesterday, and there was another one that came in the afternoon, and they are apparently from the same person. But I'm also going to go back and talk to you about some of the previous ransom notes from early on and why it seems Savannah Guthrie believes that two of those ransom notes from early on are in fact perhaps are real. But first, let me get to the latest on these TMZ ransom notes. And there are some new details that I learned today that I didn't know about yesterday when we first learned that these new ransom notes or alleged ransom notes came to TMZ. So TMZ says that they have gotten more than a half a dozen emails from this same person who sent these notes yesterday. Emails in the past claiming to have information about Nancy Guthrie. The person claims to know who the kidnappers are. And something I want to point out is Harvey Levin, when he was talking about the notes, and he's obviously seen the notes for himself, he says that the person used kidnappers plural. So there's more than one kidnapper according to whoever is writing these notes. They claim to know where Nancy Guthrie is. And Harvey Levin said that they had not gotten a note in a month from this person, but then again got two notes yesterday, one in the morning and one that came yesterday in the afternoon. That would, of course, be Los Angeles time. TMZ is based in LA. The note said that Nancy Guthrie is in Sonora, Mexico, and that she is not alive. Sonora, Mexico, of course, is the area right on the other side of the border.
Here. Where am I? That's some pretty big news. He just said that the new notes said that Nancy was in Mexico. Now what we're doing is I know I had it muted so you didn't. We're watching Brian Inton while we're waiting for the meeting. I have that up. I'm watching every about 10 seconds, looking to see if it's starting. While we're waiting, we're gonna watch Brian Inton. Give him a follow though, because he's been covering this every day. He's getting the inside information, maybe. But here is Brian Inton. While we're waiting, this is delayed programming as we're waiting for the Nanos meeting.
From where Tucson, Arizona is. Tucson, Arizona, it's very, very close to Mexico, obviously. The note reportedly said, quote, "I saw her alive with them in the state of Sonora, Mexico." And again, it's interesting that it says with them, indicating that if this is true, the kidnappers would be plural, more than one kidnapper. This person says that they can lead authorities to the kidnapper. And according to Harvey Levin, the person who wrote this email has said these same things before, that they can lead authorities to the kidnapper, and is basically repeating a lot of what he said early on when these other notes were sent to TMZ. So TMZ also confirmed that no money has been deposited into the Bitcoin account. Remember that
Nothing has been deposited. They're saying Mexico. She's in Mexico. The new notes. But we do have Carol checking in from the UK, Vanessa with the prayers and the hearts, and we got KC, welcome back, Jeff, Christina, Karen, everybody coming into the chat. We're almost hopefully closer. That's all I got to say. I'm not going to say it anymore, but we're waiting for the Nanos meeting. We're watching this. Hello, what is going on? Everyone from the UK, what is going on? I've missed a few days. Had my baby weeks ago. Just popped in for a catch up. Can you guys help me update Carol? What's going on? Carol, not much. If you go to Savannah Guthrie's page, she made an Easter message. But there's been nothing. Carol, congratulations. Yep, I missed the baby part. Yeah, I was totally thinking about updating you. Congratulations, Carol. It's freezing in Iowa. Good morning, Jeff. Yeah, I don't know if she's in Mexico. I don't know. We're going to continue watching. Let's see what he goes on to say.
this person sending these notes is also including a Bitcoin account and demanding about the value of half of a Bitcoin, which is somewhere around like in the $30,000 range, a little more than that. But as of last night, there was no money that had been deposited into the Bitcoin account. Harvey Levin says that he has talked to the FBI, that they've been giving them all this information. And he says that his spidey senses are telling him something about this guy, that there's something significant that makes Harvey Levin think that this could be legit, although he seems to insinuate that the FBI is not really taking any of this that seriously. According to Levin, the person who wrote these notes the person who wrote these notes that came yesterday also wrote a note the Tuesday after Nancy Guthrie was kidnapped and said that he knew where Guthrie was and who the kidnappers are. So that was the Tuesday after Nancy Guthrie was kidnapped. Then wrote another note on the Wednesday after Nancy Guthrie was kidnapped. So this was months ago, saying that time is no longer of the essence. So Harvey Levin is trying to make the point that whoever did this seems to be claiming that when he wrote the first notes, Nancy Guthrie was alive, and then wrote a second note on Wednesday, and Nancy Guthrie was no longer alive. Levin says, if someone is carrying out a hoax, why take the immediacy away? And that is the reason that Levin is trying to say that these notes could perhaps be real. Because if you just made the whole thing up and you wanted more money, why wouldn't you still claim that Nancy Guthrie was alive and be trying to get more money? Whereas instead, this person reportedly seemed to be insinuating that Nancy Guthrie was alive initially.
All right, just said Nancy Guthrie was alive. I missed a birthday. Was it Bev's birthday? I'm looking at these. I missed these chats. I don't know if anyone can help me. If it's somebody's birthday, if it's your birthday, someone else's birthday, I don't want to miss this birthday, but it looked like I missed a birthday. But how is the sound? I thought it may be Bev's birthday, I think. Someone said happy birthday, Bev. Well, we are in Nanos Watch. Nanos Watch. My birthday was Sunday. Happy birthday, soccer mom. Happy birthday. Congratulations. Bev's birthday. I knew it was somebody's. I saw it up there. And then I said, I missed that one. So I'm glad we caught it. Bev, happy birthday. Also, we have a soccer mom's birthday. She had hers. The sound is great. We're going to keep going. Hello, Joyce. We're on Nanos Meeting Watch. Nanos Meeting Watch. Delayed programming. So it's all, as soon as it pops on, it keeps on going back to those same 4 slides back and forth. They're not going to cancel it. So it's not like, and eventually we're going to see it and they want to get to dinner, I'm sure soon. So,
and then changed the message the next day saying that there was no longer an immediacy. Levin says that the FBI is not convinced enough to tell anyone to pay the money, which would explain why the Bitcoin account is still empty. It's interesting when you think about it. I mean, it's not, in the world of Savannah Guthrie, it's not that much money, $30,000, a little more than that. So you wonder, in a sense, like, why not just pay the money to wait and see? But if you've got the FBI saying not to pay it, you have to sort of take that into account. And again, Harvey Levin is saying that the Bitcoin account is still empty, at least as of last night. So I want to point out these notes are different than the notes that came initially to the local TV stations in Tucson, and those also went to TMZ. The reason they are different is because this person is not claiming to be the kidnapper. This person is just claiming to have information about where Nancy is and who the kidnappers are. Those other notes appear to actually be from an alleged kidnapper, and those other notes seem to be the notes that Savannah Guthrie believes could be real. It's interesting, Harvey Levin is saying that the FBI told him that they believe that those notes are real, those 2 that I'm talking about, not the ones from this person, but the other 2 where they claim to actually be the kidnapper. And Harvey Levin is saying that the FBI believes those 2 are real, which would go along with what Savannah Guthrie said in that interview with Hoda. Remember, she said she tends to believe that 2 of the notes are real too. So that
the 2 notes are real. She's saying that's where, we just don't know what these notes. Now, here's somebody, Heather says, I want to ask you a question, please. Why do you think the Guthrie family has not helped in the searches or promotion of locating Nancy? I think it's pretty pitiful, their lack of showmanship. Heather, obviously, everybody, they might have been told that she was kidnapped and that there might be something left at the house that maybe they know that she was kidnapped, right? They're not going to tell the public exactly what it was, but maybe there was something left at the house. Remember, they confirmed, hey, something about, we know, they sent information to say they knew what only they would know. So what I'm thinking is, because Arizona is so spread out, they had nowhere to start looking or even tell people to look, that they actually think that Nancy's probably being held or was held in like a private property. So even if everybody looked for the last 2 months, if Nancy's on a private property somewhere, it's going to be hard. And so if they have information that she was kidnapped and she's being held, not just dropped in the desert, then it would hold them off from going and searching, because there's no reason for them to search if they know she's being held. And so if the ransom notes are real, most likely is what Savannah said, she thinks they're real. That's why you're not seeing big searches if they think, that she's been taken to a disclosed location, hopefully still alive. I still have hope. If it's people, they don't, I mean, no one wants to hurt an 84-year-old. These people wanted money, obviously. It didn't work out. So maybe they'll let us know where the body is, or I don't know. But that's why, to answer your question, in my opinion,
She's probably getting that information from the FBI. That would make sense. And remember, at least with the local TV station, I found out that those 2 notes that Savannah tends to believe are real, and according to Harvey Levin, the FBI also believes are real, were not just emailed to the local TV station in Tucson. They were sent in through a form. Like, when you go to a website and you actually fill out a form and then you click submit. That's the way that it was done, I am told, which could be part of the reason that the FBI has had a hard time tracing back who these people are. At the same time, it is kind of shocking that it's been 66 days and that with all of the technology of the FBI, they don't have a way to figure out who sent those messages to the local TV station that they tend to believe are real, and who's sending these messages to TMZ, which it seems to be a different person. So I am surprised that the FBI still hasn't been able to figure that out with all the technology they have, but apparently whoever did this had a really good way of staying secret. So Levin says that they were working with the FBI, that the FBI was working with their TMZ team trying to figure out who has sent these notes, and that they came up dry, that they still haven't been able to determine it. TMZ also said the ransom letters they received threatened to kill Nancy, which is something new. And I go back, those would have been the letters, those 2 letters that came early on that Savannah believes are real. It seems those are the ones he's talking about when he says that whoever wrote those letters threatened to kill Nancy. So I know it's kind of a lot to keep track of. There's a lot of different letters that have floated around, but it is interesting to think about these 2 letters. It wasn't just one, it was one yesterday morning and one in the afternoon yesterday that were sent to TMZ. And is timing just a coincidence? They were sent the same day that Savannah Guthrie went back to the Today Show.
so that makes it interesting. They make that up. Did they send the letters because it was the same day she went back? Are they even real? I mean, it's just so weird that someone can send these emails and there's no way to track them. I mean, I get it. The technology is there, but how do they can just send as many emails, all this, that, and we can't even figure out who it is. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's just odd. And are they real, or is it someone just playing a game? But thank you, April. She says, if you are not kidnapper and have info, you would go for the 1.2 million. Exact 30K and they don't even ask for 1 Bitcoin. They ask for a half a Bitcoin. Makes no sense. I'm not falling for it. To me, it's just they needed more ratings or something. I don't know. I'm not being critical, but it's just something's not adding up. We're on meeting watch. Nanos meeting watch. We're going to continue. I have it waiting. I'm looking every minute here.
Joined now by Brian Martin, who is a detective with the Fort Wayne Police Department, who also specializes in cold cases. Brian, it's nice to see you. Thank you for having this chat with me. It's also nice I know you're an active detective right now, which is awesome to talk to you. The first thing I want to ask you is there's been all these new developments with these ransom notes that came to TMZ. We've now learned 2 that came yesterday. So today's Tuesday. These came on Monday, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And Harvey Levin, who, runs TMZ, seems to think like there may be some legitimacy to these. And they come the
Okay.
same day that Savannah Guthrie went back to the Today Show. What do you think? What did your gut tell you?
So there's two schools of thought, obviously, on this. One is it's somebody just out there being just nasty and seeking attention and trying to cause the family heartache. And then obviously the other school of thought would be that you have a legitimate ransom note and you have somebody who is involved in the case, the perpetrator, or somehow working with the perpetrator and sending these notes. And I find it a little bit odd that they waited so long to start sending ransom notes. But I can tell you from firsthand experience in a case that I've worked in the past, we had ransom notes. We had some ransom notes that not necessarily ransom notes, but taunting letters. And we had that hard decision whether we were going to hold that information in or whether we were going to release those letters to the public and try to use the public to assist us with solving the case. Our ultimate decision was that we did release them, but we sat on them for a while and we had them analyzed. We went through them. And then after everything came to light, we actually realized there were some notes that were left that we missed, just because of environmental reasons. Where the notes and letters were left, no one found them, or they were destroyed or thrown away. But this person, whoever sent the letters, obviously wants the letters. They want some attention. They want those letters to be found, or they wouldn't have sent them to a news outlet. That's somebody who wants to be heard. I would hope that if it is the person involved in Miss Guthrie's disappearance, that they want to be heard and are legitimately trying to negotiate some type of deal or whatever it is that they're looking to do, and not maybe somebody who has ulterior motives for attention that has nothing to do with the case. And you get somebody like that, and it's going to take this case down a completely wrong path, away from Miss Guthrie, away from trying to solve this case and finding her. If she's still alive, and I hate to say it like that, if she's still alive, but we're at 2 months, and Miss Guthrie, from my understanding, was not in the best of health. She needed medication. So you have to have some serious concerns for her well-being.
And that's where, I mean, obviously, what day we have 64 days. 64 days, and we're just watching this Brian Hinton interview while we're waiting for this meeting to start. Hopefully they come on here anytime about talking about Nanos. But part of me still wants to have that hope, and I'm not just blowing smoke, but if they did kidnap her, maybe she didn't make it, whatever the case may be, they still want to try to make some money, get money out of it, and they want to give the family the body back somehow, maybe not. But if they did want to keep her and they're waiting for the media to go away, they will maybe send another legit, like they said, a real ransom note that says, we've been holding Nancy in a mansion in this, we don't mansion, we have Nancy. We've been feeding her. She's had her medications. If you remember, Brian went to Mexico because there was something about her medications at the beginning of this case. Were her medications missing? Did they take her medications? They're not telling us. Because you remember Brian Hinton went to Mexico. So I'm just trying to, there's a little bit of hope, if there's 100% of hope, I got 20% that maybe Nancy's still there, 80%. Some people think there's no way she could be. I get it. So I'm not trying to say yes or no. It's just, I'm trying to keep 20% hope. They did talk about the medications being missing or something with the medications. And remember, so keep that in mind. We're still waiting. The same 4 slides are going back and forth.
And this person, according to TMZ, from the notes yesterday, has written I think they said half a dozen of notes before throughout this whole 2 months. and is not claiming to be the kidnapper, but is claiming to know who that person is, or actually uses plural, who the people are, and where Nancy Guthrie is, and is asking for half a Bitcoin, which is like somewhere around $34,000, $33,000. And TMZ says they looked in the Bitcoin account; it's empty, so it's a real account. I'm curious, like if you're Savannah Guthrie and you have a lot of money, if you were advising her, what do you think the FBI is saying? Like, should you just take the chance and pay 30 some $1,000, which is probably not a lot of money for her, and just see what happens?
I would like to think that the FBI is probably offering her some advice, and that advice is twofold. You're going to go down this path of, okay, today they're asking for half a Bitcoin. Okay, so tomorrow is it going to be another Bitcoin? Is this person actually going to give legitimate information, or are they just trying to soak the family for money? And you hope that somebody's not doing that. And my big concern with asking for half a Bitcoin, it's my understanding there's a considerable reward for information leading to the recovery of Miss Guthrie. So therefore, why would you not just submit a tip to a legitimate Crime Stoppers, or to the sheriff's department, or to the FBI, or to the tip line that's set up, and get the $100,000, get the $100,000? So that makes it a little suspect to me. I'd be very suspect of this individual who claims to have information and only wants 34,000, or roughly, when there's considerably more on the table. That if they truly do know information about the suspect or suspects, why would you not do it the right way? And it's going to be a monetary gain for them, as a
Anything. I mean, I know maybe Harvey Levin thinks they are, but to me, how are they real if the guy could just he could just do 1.2 million, and then he's going to get all the interviews, and people are going to want to talk to him, and it doesn't make sense why he would be asking for 30,000, half a Bitcoin. I mean, who thinks of half a Bitcoin? You can't even say one Bitcoin. It's got to be half. I'm not buying it. We are on Nanos meeting watch. Every time I look, it just says Board of Supervisors is in executive session and will return shortly.
opposed to doing it this kind of secret, kind of cloak and dagger, kind of information. That makes me suspect. One thing that I do like that you said was the fact that they mentioned suspects, plural. I think that maybe they're just assuming if they really don't have knowledge, but I firmly believe there's more than one person involved in Miss Guthrie's disappearance. She's an older person. She would need assistance, or possibly being carried out. So it would lead you to believe that more than one person was involved in her disappearance or kidnapping.
I guess what you said about a slippery slope is a good point. Like if they're asking for half a Bitcoin now, how do you know you don't give them that? And then suddenly they're like, okay, well now if you really want more info, you have to pay a full Bitcoin. Or, I mean that's a good that probably is what the FBI is telling Savannah. But again, when you're that rich, and I don't know. I'm just thinking if it was my mom and I had that kind of money, and I'm up at night, it's like, do I just pay the 30? You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure the Guthrie family is very torn, because part of it is just like you said. Money's all relative, depending on what you do, how much you have,
yeah,
but it draws me to really be concerned with, okay, are we going to start here and this is going to be a continuing, ongoing game, or somebody else finds out and this becomes almost one of those scam deals that people get on the telephone? Hey, I need this much in order to do XYZ. And then next thing you know, you got two more people submitting letters, and it's another 30, it's another 50, and they nickel and dime you, and you gain no information. And that's money that could be put forward to a legitimate way of trying to retrieve their mother or their loved one.
So there were these notes I'm talking about from yesterday, and that person who's apparently sent many to TMZ. But then there were other notes early on that went also to the local TV station in Tucson, which those seem to be the notes that Savannah. She said in her interview that she believes that two of the notes are legitimate. Um, those are different notes from a different sender. And I'm just wondering, are you surprised? I mean, it's been now 66 days that like the FBI hasn't been able to track with all the technology they haven't been able to figure out who's sending these notes.
Yeah, sorry, I'm doing the email. Somebody just sent an email. I got somebody saying I've been trying to locate a store that may sell the jacket the perp was wearing. When I see the video with the star on the jacket, it's stuck in my brain that I've been seeing that star on a jacket like that has a Carl's Jr. restaurant. Huh. So I just read an email somebody sent. Thank you. We'll continue this. We're on watch for this meeting. Nanos watch. It's still delayed, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, so with the notes, I think it's again, it's always twofold, right? So you would think that they'd be able to track a note, and you base that off of what we see on television. We base that off of people watching crime shows, and they'll scan this letter, they'll retrieve DNA, they'll retrieve fingerprints. But if somebody sent these letters and took countermeasures, wore protection, latex gloves, whatever they may have done, washed the letters, did whatever, and there's no DNA on those letters and there's no fingerprints, then it'd be very difficult to track a letter that's sent through mail or even email with fake accounts. It'd be extremely difficult to track without that physical evidence being on. Much like you receive, if you or I received a threatening letter in the mail, and if the person did their due diligence and didn't leave fingerprints and didn't leave DNA, you got to ask yourself, how exactly are we going to track this? Yeah, sure. We know where it went to the post office. We know its origin, but that doesn't mean that I didn't drive 100 miles to drop it at a mailbox. That doesn't mean that I didn't hand it off to somebody to drop in a mailbox or some random location. So I think that plays into this. The other thing is, we don't know that the FBI isn't tracking those and isn't running down a suspect and doing their homework and doing surveillance and following up on information with this person. And they're just not announcing it, because I personally, if it were my investigation, if I was on to one or two suspects, I wouldn't release that. That'd be cut very close in just with my team, because the last thing we would want to do is send somebody running, spook them, have them go dark on us, have them, go someplace where we couldn't find them, have them dump their digital footprint, get rid of emails, get rid of cell phones, and then we'd be back to square one with all the investigation and trying to track them. So I think we have to keep that in mind as well, that the FBI and local law enforcement in this case isn't going to show their whole hand.
Yeah, that's a good point. We have sources close to the investigation who have said that there are no viable suspects right now. That it's there's not a lot going on from what we hear. If you were running this case, do you think they should be using the media differently? I mean, because they've been quiet for quite some time now. I mean, the sheriff has done a few interviews here and there because he's come under fire for a lot of things and is trying to defend himself. But the FBI hasn't done any interviews. There hasn't been like a big press conference about the Nancy Guthrie case. Is there anything you would be doing differently in regards to using the media?
There you go. We'll stop it just for a minute there. I mean, that's what I was saying is that, for a while that this sheriff, if it was anywhere else, they would have probably had press conferences at least once a week. But not with this sheriff. And so he's asking him with the radio and his profile, he's asking what do you think about him not talking anymore, basically staying silent?
I like to use the media when I get to a point in a case where I feel like maybe I'm stumped or I've hit a roadblock or it's plateaued, and I'll release bits and pieces of information to elicit the help from the public, and I do so by using the media, whether that would be to release one of these original notes or ransom letters, if you will, that they feel was had some legitimacy to it and they thought could really be a suspect. I may release a portion of that letter to see if anybody recognizes the penmanship. If there's misspelled words and you or I may be like, oh my gosh, I know so-and-so, they always misspell that word, or hey, that looks like so-and-so's handwriting. And this kind of information, or maybe the verbiage in it is very specific in how somebody talks or how somebody writes. I would probably try to use that information. I'm not saying I'd release the entire letter, but I might release portions of the letter to see if anybody in the public recognized that and would help generate additional tips, or maybe they generate a lead on somebody that we're already looking at and we just haven't found enough to get us over that hurdle of probable cause. And by releasing a portion of that letter, somebody can get you over that hurdle and say, hey, I'm familiar with this person's writing. They always misspell this word. This is how they write. Maybe they even have a sample letter of something that was written to them in the past.
All right, sorry guys, somebody calling on the live stream, but here we are. I'm gonna pull it back. You guys can watch the rest over there at Inton. I'm gonna line up another one hopefully to watch while we're waiting. We're in Nanos meeting watch. I don't know if he's gonna be there, but I'm hoping they'll talk about what they're gonna do. I wasn't gonna start the stream, but I mean right now if we're just kind of chatting about things. Waiting for this to happen, but I know they're not going to cancel it. So you can rest assured they're not just going to cancel it. All right, welcome in. So we're going to put this up for a second while we're waiting. Boom. See, it's still the same screen, back and forth, back and forth. I'll be right back. Hopefully it'll come on right when it comes on. You're just going to see the screen come on. And it kind of teased us about 30 minutes ago, remember? Came on for a minute and then it went away. So be right back. Thanks for hanging out and being patient. Hopefully you guys are having a good dinner too. It's almost dinner time here in Arizona. What's for dinner?
have driven our Safe City initiative forward, and I highly, highly appreciate it. Just since October and the work that we're doing together, I have received from small businesses to neighborhoods to individuals how much they appreciate the tangible differences that they are seeing with the Safe City initiative. And so I want to give a lot of appreciation to you, but also our Chief Prieto and your team. Amazing work that our core team and all of our officers are doing on the ground and informing neighborhoods and working with our Housing First navigators, with nonprofit organizations, with our community court. The video alternative to jail I've seen it all working. I've seen the action. I was lucky enough to be able to go to one of the Safe City deployments and see the work firsthand by our police officers. I was lucky enough to do a ride along with Officer Benitez. We had incredibly informative discussions in that ride along, and the care in which our officers work with individuals that really are in need. And since the beginning of the Safe City initiative, I've been very clear that incarceration is not the goal, that treatment is, and connecting people to
I can't stand this woman's voice.
and resources.
Oh my God.
that we need. And that's what I saw firsthand in bringing in individuals, putting them through the video alternative to jail court, seeing the nonprofit organizations and our care coordinators from Community Safety, Health, and Wellness and our Housing First navigators really want to offer those resources. And then, of course, right, arresting those that were committing crimes in our community. And I hear also from our officers and our own employees that it seems as though the Safe City initiative and the Safe City deployments and the creation of the Safe City Task Force and all of the work that we're doing, the pivot that we took, with the Safe City initiative have really giving us tangible results and benefits. It felt like we were spinning our wheels and taking some, different approaches, moving from what was not working and into a new attitude, new ideas, and new ways of doing things have really been responsive to the needs of the community. So thank you all for your incredible work in this. I guess for me, I'm really happy that Proposition 418 and 419 passed because of this additional almost $2.5 million a year to provide safety and security. Mayor and council have given direction in terms of how to use those funds. And at that time, I was wishing, okay, we need more money to make sure that we also add
I need more money. That's all she says.
Suntran Safety Ambassador Program. It was a piloted program by Primavera. I think that we should
Primavera.
pick up that work to make sure that we have our officers there, but also our Suntran Safety Ambassadors in the routes where
Safety.
we're
How many
having
times has she
issues
said
and in the
safety?
transit centers where we're having issues, so that we can, have them at the ready
I need
when
to find a
we
clown.
need to provide
Clown, some clown
resources
music.
to community residents.
Virgin clown
Also, as we said before, we cannot solve these issues alone. So
Oh,
I
can't
want to
solve
make
it.
sure that we continue our work with the
Can't
Pima
stand
County
her.
Attorney's Office so that we can respond to that, Chief Prieto, the frequent users of the system, that misdemeanors are obviously not helping. Our community court is obviously not helping. So I just wanted to ask further, Mr. Lusk, what is the work that we're doing with the county attorney's office? And what are the incentives and the deflection programs that we can use that are not working in the city of Tucson with misdemeanors, but that need the attorney to respond with felonies so that we can further incentivize the use of treatment.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. And I do want to sort of touch on what Chief Prieto brought out about this high utilizers idea, because I think it's important, and I think TPD has been essential in this concept of putting the right work in the right hands. And I think that also involves the Pima County Attorney's Office, and we've had good conversations with them about how we can do better to get more folks into places like the Safer Center, get more folks into things
Sorry, guys.
which are, I think are underutilized because we just can't get enough folks in that direction. And I don't want people to think that what we're talking about is high utilizers of just the criminal justice system, because it's high utilizers of the system as a whole, right? We have a very good system here in the city of Tucson
related to substance use disorder, related to mental health issues, related to gaslighting. All of those sort of interact, and I think and our public health system is good too. So I think all of those interact, and a lot of the folks that I think Chief Prieto is talking about are folks that use all of those systems. And we're spending a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of effort. I want to keep my job. I'm going to say whatever the hell I need to say progress in making good decisions and also helping them to sort of deal with the issues that they have. Good night. And I will just quibble just a tiny bit, Mayor, because I think the community court does do a good job with what it has. I'll be back, right? But the incentives are different at that level than at the felony level, and I think it's imperative that we work with our county partners as well to ensure that the incentives for those high utilizers are appropriate, so they can consider getting the help that they need in a different way. Because obviously, they're back. They're back. We're done with that. We're done with it. They're back. We're back. Yep. We are back. Alert. Man, I'm so glad, because I was literally getting frustrated watching that other one. I know, Sarah, we need to write a letter, a strongly worded letter. You wasted 5 hours of my life. You said it was going to be 90 minutes. "5 hours," she said. I can't believe it was that long. Well, here they come. Look, they're strolling in slowly. Let me know if you guys have any questions. 4 are back, and then we got number 5 in the right corner. Steve Christie. So we might have something here. Finally. I could not listen to the mayor talk anymore. It's so ridiculous how they just sit there and pat each other on the back. Oh, everything's going to be all right. Oh, yeah. And they all know. Oh, excuse me. Welcome back. We are live at the Nanos. Hopefully they're going to talk about them. Hit the like button.
Madam Chair, can you hear me? I can't hear anybody in the boardroom.
We have not said anything yet, so
There we go. Okay.
we've been remarkably quiet, in fact.
Oh, they're quiet. Wow. It's interesting. So the guy in the bottom right, everybody, the guy in the bottom right is Steve Christie. He's the only Republican voted in all of Pima County, even at the city and the county. He's the only one. The rest, the woman, her name is Jennifer Allen. She used to work for the ACLU. The guy in the middle there is Dr. Matt Hines. He's a doctor. That he's also, so he's mainly a doctor, and then he comes and he does this job on the side. But his main job is a doctor. The other guy is Rex Scott. He is comes from the school district, and so he's very straight and narrow. He just kind of follows everybody. You know, he might occasionally stand up, but he's pretty much, he just rubber stamps for the mayor. The guy that just walked away, he was the guy, Andres Cano. He was appointed by the mayor and the insiders crew to take over Adelita Grijalva's position. So there's a little update who we're looking at. I don't see Nanos. I don't know anything about Nanos being there. This is about Nanos. I don't think he's going to come up to this, but people said he might be there. I don't think he's going to be there. Why would he be there? They're talking about what they're proposing in the meeting, and then maybe he might come to the next one. If he's here, I'll be shocked, but maybe. But I'm pretty sure they're going to talk about him, so don't, think they're not going to talk. I think they talked about him in the executive meeting, and now they're coming back. But thank everybody for hitting the like button. And this one was a long wait. I don't know what they're waiting for now, but they are not in a hurry. You DM'd, yeah. Matt Hines, he's an approachable guy. The others, maybe not so much. Rex Scott, he seems like a typical politician. I don't know a lot about him other than he's not really standing up for what I see on the streets. They're all good people. I'm sure they're good-hearted people, but we just don't agree on a lot of stuff. Steve Christie, he's pretty, right on with trying to get the city, getting new jobs, supporting the police.
We are
Fire.
back
All right, we're back.
from a tiny little executive session, feeling refreshed.
A tiny little.
So we are going to pick up on the items that were executive session items, starting with regular agenda item number 14. This is the open meeting law and related matters, legal advice and discussion. We will proceed for information only. Now we'll move to addendum item 3. This was for legal advice and direction regarding the regulation of unidentified mass groups. That was also for information only. Addendum item number 4. This was for legal advice and direction regarding HSL and Cantata Twin Peaks. That was for information only. Addendum item number 5. For discussion and consideration of employment appointment of the county administrator. No surprising here. That was also for information only. Addendum item number 7, executive session regarding the ARS 38-431, legal advice and discussion about Sheriff Nanos. That item was also for
information only. So now we will go to the items that correspond with some of those executive session items. We will move to regular agenda item 22. So this is unfinished business, the code text amendment for ordinance number 2026-2. I believe I'm going to pass it to Deputy Civil County Attorney Brown to read some of the changes into the record.
All right. Thank you, Chair Allen. Following the reading of these changes into the record, if there's a motion, certainly a supervisor can make it. All right. The ordinance title, an ordinance of the Board of Supervisors of Pima County, Arizona relating to public peace and welfare, amending the Pima County Code Title 9 by adding Chapter 9.25, regulation of unidentified masked groups causing intimidation, exempting identified law enforcement officers. That's on page 1. And this is in reference to the version that the board has already received, dated February 18th. On page 3, there were 17 items listed. There's now an 18th item. Number 18 reads, the county has implied statutory authority under ARS Section 11-251-29 to regulate and manage county-acquired public rights of way within unincorporated Pima County. Section A on that page now reads in the second sentence, this ordinance seeks to protect residents and law enforcement from criminal impersonation and to ensure safe and fair elections and to support coordination between local and federal law enforcement agencies in enforcing federal law. At the bottom of page 3, in section G, the words to local law enforcement and the community have been stricken. So the new sentence in G reads, a federal law enforcement officer may still wear a mask to conceal the officer's face and prevent doxing while at the same time remaining identifiable as a legitimate law enforcement officer. On page 4, there's now a new section H that reads, the board agrees that the presence of masked and unidentifiable individuals, including law enforcement, is more likely to heighten the sense of insecurity for all, as stated by the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California, with citation to that case, ruling from February 9th, 2026. And now to the text of the amendment of the ordinance. The changes in section 1 of the title now includes the words causing intimidation. So the title reads regulation of unidentified mass groups causing intimidation, exempting identified law enforcement officers. The declaration of policy now reads, the purpose of this chapter is to protect the inhabitants of Pima County from intimidation caused by unidentified masked groups and prevent unintentional interference with legitimate law enforcement operations within the county. And the next section, 9.25.020, the regulation of unidentified mass groups. Section A reads, except as otherwise provided in this chapter, it is unlawful for any person to gather in a group of 2 or more persons within the unincorporated county upon publicly maintained streets and thoroughfares, public rights of way, or on private lands without the consent of the lawful owner when 2 or more persons within the group. And then there's a list of items that that section applies to. Within that list in section A2, we've added the words in section E, 2E, military or law enforcement style professional chemical agents. And in section F, we've added to handcuffs, zip tie handcuffs, flex cuffs, or zip cuffs. And finally, in the penalty provision, starting on page 5 in section 9.25.040, 4 separate new provisions from the earlier version. Section A now reads, each act of violation shall constitute a separate offense. Section B reads, a person's first violation of this chapter constitutes a Class 3 misdemeanor and is subject to a fine of up to $500, up to 30 days in jail, and up to 1 year of probation. Section C reads, a person's second violation of this chapter constitutes a Class 2 misdemeanor and is subject to a fine of up to $750, up to 4 months in jail, and up to 2 years of probation. And Section D reads, any subsequent violation of this chapter constitutes a Class 1 misdemeanor and is subject to a $2,500 fine, up to 6 months in jail, and up to 3 years of probation. The rest of the language remains the same as the previous version.
Thank you. So I will move for approval, ordinance
approve
number
it.
2026-2 as amended by Deputy Civil Attorney. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Supervisor Hines. Oh, and we close the hearing. And then
I'll still
we
second.
still have the second. Is there discussion?
No discussion?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? The ordinance number 2026-2 passes 4-1.
Me and Steve.
Moving
Me and
on
Steve
to
are the
addendum
only
item
ones.
number 6. This is the county administrator hiring
It's a
process.
kangaroo government here. It's ridiculous. I'll be right
I'm
back.
wondering if we could ask County Administrator Lesher if we could have an overview perhaps of some of the process that is in play from hands from either Administrator Lesher or perhaps Director Boland, whoever feels inclined.
Thank you very much, and I'll say,
Well, it does. I guess it is a little bit awkward for you. Either way.
no,
either way.
I am motivated. Chair Allen and members of the board and the public, what we've talked about today was establishing a process by which the board has reviewed some key criteria, and we will be posting all of that on the website no later than the 15th of April. We'll let folks know about that. It delineates a timeline by which applications will be due by the end of May, I believe May 30th. And the board will begin deliberations at that point. At that time, the goal is to, the timeline calls for the hiring of the selection of the new county administrator and for that person to be in place by October 1st to allow for a transition through the end of this calendar year. There is a committee that is being formed to assist the board with that process, representing two representatives of each of the 5 members of the board, and then 5 additional individuals who are being named in order to make sure that all aspects of the community are represented. And as soon as we hear formally that all those individuals have accepted appointment, that committee will be known publicly as well. I think part of what the board looked at today, and we will be providing to the public, is an opportunity to ensure that there is regular and ongoing feedback and participation from county employees, from our directors, and from the public as well. To first in the elements of what might you be looking for in a county administrator, and then continuing to participate and have input, including towards the end of the process when the board has asked that 3 finalists be brought to the board. And there will be an opportunity to meet with those individuals in some format, whether they be meet and greets and focus groups within, again, with county employees, with the public, with directors, and that can be part of or ancillary to actual interviews conducted by the board. And that there will be a portal set up on the Pima County website. I'll get the name for that in just a moment. And there are 3 individuals in HR will have access to that and no one else, so that we can try to keep close hold on the information. Ms. Boland, what is the website that we'll be using?
It will be administrator recruitment at pima.gov.
And the board approved this salary looked at looking at grade 5, where we were to make sure that we're advertising appropriately what the salary is. And I said, I'm still trying to dig for my notes. Was there another element that I have not reported on this afternoon?
Chair Allen and members
Thank
of the
you.
board and Ms. Lesher, I believe I was going to be given some guidance on the proposed criteria
Thank you.
and then also a proposed hiring range.
Okay.
I'm happy to do that, Chair Allen, but my notes were taken at executive session. So I need my notes back, Madam Clerk.
Welcome to Tucson government, everybody.
So I believe that it was from the class category was 25, right, within the class and comp, and that the range from the second quartile to the max is 299 and some change on one end, up to 416 at the highest end of that band for category 25. And so that'll be the range that will go out with the position announcement.
And Chair Allen, if I can just clarify, I believe it's quartile 1.
Okay.
Quartile 1 to the maximum. And then as far as the criteria, there was a list that you guys had reviewed.
Oh, that's fun.
And if I'm okay to proceed on that, that's the go-ahead that I would need.
I move that we proceed as discussed. I don't know. Do we have to vote on it? Okay.
Yeah. You vote on it? All right. Second. Seconded by Supervisor Allen. Any further discussion?
And just to be clear, Chair Allen,
Yes.
for the public's knowledge, grade 25, the annual 1Q, is that the correct quartile, is $299,041.60. And the maximum, Chair Allen, is $416,041.60. Those are the posted grades.
Any further discussion or additions? No? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? The item passes 5-0. All right. Now we are moving on to
Drippy,
item number 8.
drippy.
This is the addendum item number 8. This was a request of a report from Sheriff Nanos, her ARS 11-253. So I will read what the best way to present this. I will read and then we will further discuss and vote on the language that that we will be putting forward. Okay. All right. So this is the text that will be communicated to Pima County Sheriff Nanos. There will be a cover letter that precedes this, but the heart of the communication is this. Recent public reporting has raised questions concerning several matters involving the Pima County Sheriff's Department. Accordingly, pursuant to ARS 11-253, the board requests a report from Sheriff Nanos addressing the facts and circumstances related to each of the following matters, together with any corrective actions taken to date, any additional actions proposed, and a timeline for implementation where applicable. Number 1, prior representations regarding your employment history with the El Paso Police Department, including A, the circumstances of your departure, B, the dates of your employment as reflected in application materials, resumes, and prior testimony with Pima County, and C, any prior disciplinary history, including suspensions. For this matter, please also identify whether any inaccuracies or omissions occurred and what steps, if any, you will take to address this matter, restore public confidence, and ensure the accuracy and completeness of your official background and employment representations in the future. 2, the disciplinary actions involving former Pima County Sheriff candidate Lieutenant Heather Lappin and Union Leader Sergeant Aaron Cross, including the process standards and considerations applied in those matters. For this matter, please also identify whether existing policies, procedures, and supervisory practices adequately safeguard impartiality and consistency in disciplinary decisions, and describe any steps you will take to clarify standards, strengthen review processes, and prevent the appearance of retaliatory or uneven enforcement in future matters involving employees engaged in protected or political activities. 3, the nature and extent of communications or coordination between the Pima County Sheriff's Department and federal immigration officials since 2021, including how those interactions align with the department's stated policies and public representations. For this matter, please also describe any written policies and procedures currently governing such interactions, whether those policies have been followed consistently, and what steps, if any, you will take to clarify departmental guidance and public communication on this issue going forward. And finally, 4, there have been repeated instances where the Board of Supervisors has been informed by the Finance Department that your department would exceed its budget. Please describe how and why prior department expenditures have exceeded your budget and what you have done to address budgetary issues in forthcoming budget cycles. The cover letter accompanying these questions, per the statute, will communicate that we will expect a report in 10 days. That report can be either written or verbal, and will coincide with the next Board of Supervisors meeting. I will move the item.
Second.
Seconded by Supervisor Hines. Discussion.
Chair Allen,
Supervisor Scott.
just to clarify, when we said 10 days, we meant 10 business days.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes 5-0. Moving on to addendum item number 10. This is a proposed settlement and tax appeal of HSL and Cantata Twin Peaks. I will move that we approve the item as discussed in executive session.
Second.
Seconded by Supervisor Hines. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Item passed.
All right, everybody. I mean, it happened though. We got some, they talked about Nanos. So what I understand of what happened, and we're not missing anything about Nanos, I'm sure you guys be okay if I mute it for a minute. They look like they're done. Are they done? I guess they're done. So here we're going to just have a little talk of what we just saw, what we witnessed. They went into the meeting, they drafted some language, and now they're going to submit it over to Nanos. They're going to submit this paperwork over to Nanos. Better than nothing, Blinky, exactly. We got something now. What's going to happen? Nanos has to respond. Whatever these questions, if you want to rewind, you can see. Then they're going to, at the next board meeting, so that's going to be at the beginning of next month, they're going to have another meeting. Who knows? It sounds like Nanos is just going to, like someone said, drag their heels. Nothing's going to happen. This is all a dog and pony show to keep the focus on Nanos and not anybody else's problems. So trust me, Nanos could care less about this. People think, oh, Nanos is so worried. I don't think he is. I mean, it's not like they're saying they're going to draft some language and then what? So we'll find out, but nothing happened as far as them putting forward other than they're questioning Nanos on his budget. Remember, is overspending on his budget. It all comes down to money. And that's where it comes down to money, guys. They don't like how Nanos is spending the budget. So all the other things you hear about are just other reasons, but the main reason is they want to have that budget in control by someone else. So they're trying this. It's hard to throw out a sheriff. It's not common. But we are pretty much done with today's stream as far as the Nanos. We got what we wanted. It's better than nothing. It's not, hey, Nanos is done or Nanos resigned. It's nothing like that, but we have something. It's better than nothing. Binky Files. I like your name. It's about budget. They want, see, Nanos, he wants to have flock cameras, these kinds of things. So the officers have the body camera. And they canceled the contract with them recently because it was too expensive. So they're at a fight even before this on budget issues. As much as they're using all this Nancy Guthrie stuff and how he handled it, it all comes down to budget. They want to install a new leader, the locals elected, so they can be in control of that budget. That person will listen. Nanos he'll stick up to the Democrats and tell them, hey, we need to have more for our law enforcement. And so I'm not going to go too much more into detail, but that's my opinion. This isn't just about how he handles cases, or it all comes back to money. So let me check the comments. Thank you guys for hanging out. Get the recall signed. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of things. Nothing's holding anybody accountable. I mean, they just literally set up a system to import millions of people right through Tucson and Pima County. You know, I mean, that's how a lot of them, the system had to be in place for them to get here and have a place to stay in a hotel for a certain amount of time. It was all planned. And Nanos was right there at the center of it with Adelita Grijalva, Raul Grijalva. They're all guilty of it. So anyway, thank you guys. Yeah, you saw just a minute ago the mayor, you know, they're taking, I can't go. It's been a long day listening to this, but I appreciate everybody. I'm going to sign off. Shout out Qbert. If you're still listening, he did the video the other day. He works with, he has all the professional equipment. He did the one with the Gutierrez family. So we're going to be doing some, more professional, organized documentaries of all the things, the great people in Tucson, people that are struggling that we can help, but trying to keep the message positive, help people in the community, in the world, in America. But thank you everybody for tuning in. Say bye in the comments. See who's saying bye. Thank you, Camper Lady. I love that name, Camper Lady. 0 accomplished. Yeah, well, they got a little bit. They got a little bit accomplished, but yeah, they're not in a hurry. All the mods, they sounded drunk, says Brenda. Thank you. Hot Shot, thank you, everybody. Blue Catskills, thank you. 420, standing up. All right. Thank you, Kelly Joe. Rest your eyes. Yeah, I'm gonna go take a little nap after that. I mean, I tried to do my best without getting frustrated, but it's hard. So anyway, I see lots of good nights. Thank you. I'll be in the chat later. Maybe I'll stop into the court. I'll start stopping in there on video occasionally, maybe. But thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one. All the mods, thank you, Kelp. Everybody, boom, boom. Let's see if I'm missing any. Why don't they have information already? All right. I'll find out what this exactly is. Long day. Yes. Good night. Good night, everybody. I hope you have a good night. Relax. Take some deep breaths. I'm going to do the same. Catch you on the next one. Peace and love.